I feel so far away from this.
All right, it is 5:04 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Casey, would you mind doing roll call, please?
Katie? Present. Dana? Here. Dan?
Here?
James?
Present.
Could I get a motion to approve the absence, please?
Motion to approve the absence of Christy Brush.
Seconded.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have any new business changes at all, Luis?
No.
Okay. Any public comments on non-agenda items out there? Looks like no. Could I get a motion to approve last meeting's minutes, please?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Do we have any guests that need to be introduced tonight? No. And no more additions to the agenda. Could I get a motion to adopt the formal agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Luis, would you mind reading the disclaimer, please?
Not at all. Chapter 16, Section 22 of the City of Kalamazoo Code of Ordinance states, historical preservation is a public purpose. To serve that purpose, the Historic District Commission is hereby charged with the following responsibilities. A, the Kalamazoo Historic District Commission is empowered to regulate work on the exterior of historic resources and non-historic resources in historic districts in the City of Kalamazoo, and shall otherwise have all powers invested in historic district commissions pursuant to the Local Historic Districts Act, MCLA 399201, 1970 PA 169 as amended in 1992. B, to regulate work on resources which, by city ordinance, are historic or non-historic resources located within local historic districts, including but not limited to the moving of any structure into or out of or the building of any structure in an historic district. The following documents are available in the City of Kalamazoo Planning and Economic Development Department located at 245 North Rose Street. These documents will help assist property owners in understanding the responsibilities of owning property in a local historic district. They include MCLA 399201, 1970 PA 169 as amended in 1992, which is the Michigan Local Historic District Act, the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kalamazoo, Michigan, specifically Chapter 16, which deals with historic districts, the Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation and Guidelines for Rehabilitating Historic Buildings, 1990, Standards and Guidelines for Rehabilitation, Standards and Guidelines for Rehabilitation in Kalamazoo Local Historic Districts and maps of Kalamazoo Local Historic Districts. These documents and maps are also available on the City of Kalamazoo's website at www.kalamazoocity.org/historic preservation.
Thank you so much. So moving on to the applicants, we're going to start with 602 West Walnut.
I just want to give the disclaimer right now to both applicants that are here. We have only 4 members this evening, which is quorum, which means that you need unanimous votes to get everything to move forward. So, it's completely up to you guys if you'd like to postpone till a further meeting. That's, your prerogative if you'd like to, or we can proceed this evening. I don't say that to scare anyone. I just say that whenever we have this situation arise, that there is just quorum right now.
Okay. That being said, I'm not seeing 602 West Walnut, am I? Oh, you are. Oh, you're behind the... Great. Come on up to the stand, please. Hi.
Hey. If you could just, tell us your name, your relationship to the property, and then kind of give us a rundown of what you're proposing.
Yeah, I'm Scott Hunsinger. I've lived in Kalamazoo since 1990, and the main carpenter on the job is Jerry Berrigan, who's lived here a long time too. We both went to Kalamazoo College. He owns Plowshares Construction. And with my wife, we bought 3 rental properties in Vine neighborhood. These are the 5th houses we owned. We owned a historic house on Elm Street that we fixed up a lot. We put like $100,000 into that home. That was 606 Elm. And really happy with how it turned out. And then now we live on Academy Street, but we own 3 rental properties in Vine. And we're committed to fixing up and beautifying historic houses in Kalamazoo. We've been doing it for a long time. And we love it. It's an act of love. And 3 days after we bought the properties, I was working on some repairs in 602 when one of those big summer rainstorms hit. This was like late July, early August, and rain started flooding down through the kitchen bump out, and I almost had a heart attack. And we grabbed a bucket and put it up there, and I went upstairs, and the tenants were there. They were inspecting it a couple of days before moving in, and I thought they were going to back out. But they had a really great attitude. I said, we're going to get this right. I'm not going to leave you with a leaking house. And I started to notice rot right away, and I ran upstairs and saw that the balcony was just leaking like crazy. And the balcony didn't look safe either. The railing is not up to code, and it's a nightmare for safety for the tenants, for leakage. And since then, we paid an asbestos removal company to take off the asbestos siding shingles in the back so we could see what it's like in that kitchen bump out. And it was dirt. The wall had turned to dirt. It was so rotted. I brought some additional new pictures that have been taken since then. It's absolutely horrifying. Termite damage, water damage, rot, all throughout that compound. It's a nightmare. So in some ways I feel blessed that we discovered this 3 days into owning these 3 properties, 3 days after having purchased them, that I saw it, because I'm taking action quickly. Plowshares is already replacing rotten wood. It's going to be a substantial rebuild of that bump out, because it's all rotted on the inside. I mean, he reached in his hand and pulled out dirt where wood should be, and a worm was in it. A worm was in the wall 8 feet off the ground. I mean, it was kind of horrifying. So anyway, long story short, we're fixing all the rot that's all throughout that duplex double kitchen bump out. It's identical mirror images on both sides. And we would really like your permission to put a hip roof so that sheds water, because right now water isn't getting shed. It's finding leaks. Every time a person goes out there and heals, they break through. There were numerous holes under all the, what do you call it, the tar, and the 100 different times they've tried to fix the leak. It's obviously been leaking for decades, and it's just created a nightmare situation for us. So we're really hoping you'll be unanimous. We're going to beautify these properties. We're just going to make them gorgeous, and this is something we need to do. We can't have rot and leak in the biggest of the 3 that we bought. It's already going to cost us, $40,000 to make this right. Right after we bought the properties. And the house right next door that we own, 606, has a hip roof over its kitchen bump out. And this house did not have a balcony when it was originally built. This was clearly a completely different scenario than that hideous-looking balcony in the back of that house. So I guess there's 3 or 4 big things. One, we got to make it sound. It's ruining the house. It's allowing pests, bugs, water damage, rot. Who knows? I'm praying there's not mold. We got to make it right first. We got to make it sound, and a roof is going to do that much better than a balcony. 2, I don't like the danger of the balcony for the tenants. 3, it matches the neighboring house better. 4, it wasn't the original to the house anyway, that balcony. And 5, the balcony's ugly. I could probably go on. There's just so many good reasons to do this and make it sound. So that's where I'm at. If you have any questions, please feel free.
I guess I'll start with questions. I mean, all that sounds like pretty reasonable. The doors that go to the balcony, how are you going to address those?
We're going to replace those with all wood, no vinyl, no aluminum, 100% wood, historic windows that match exactly to the rest of the house. Double pane.
Cool. Great.
Yep. Except they'll have a better insulatory value because of the new glass. But so those 2 doors, that's a great question. They'll become windows. The framing will go up. It's going to look really natural. There'll be 4 windows. They'll look identical to those windows you already see there, which open from the upstairs bathrooms.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great question.
And are you planning to replace the existing windows on the first floor, the bump out? Or
I don't
keep them?
think so.
Okay.
I think we're going to do our best to reframe where there's rot and
Okay.
try to keep those the original if we can. They're not particularly attractive or in great shape, but like I said, we're already going to be like $40,000 in just to this one project. And we're doing other projects. Like we're upgrading the electrical through Yes Electric in all 3 houses to modern electric. That's another $70,000. And we're doing a new roof on 602, 604, all the bump outs, and the porch roof of 606 next to it. There's just a lot of points of water entry on two of the 3 houses we bought, and they need to be made sound, like now. So we're going all in on debt and repairs, trying to get these places safe and sound for the tenants for the winter and structurally good. And we really plan on being like your epitome of good landlords for the Vine neighborhood, just constant improvement. You're going to just really like what you see on that corner of Pearl and West Walnut.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Will the new roof cover the windows on the 3rd story, like block those at all?
The new roof over the bump out?
Yeah.
Cover the window. Oh, no, it won't. It'll be, because the concern of Jerry Berrigan, his concern is, the contractor we're hiring, is snow will build up on any roof, and you don't want the snow resting up against the window. So we're going to try and have as big as a gap as we can, and we're going to try to match or be less than the existing pitch of the roof itself.
Okay.
So, but enough to shed water, much better than a flat balcony, but not so much that it gets in, another great question, that it gets in that, like we don't want a 3 or even an 8-inch gap. We want a foot or above of gap between that roof. I think I'm speaking in
Yeah, because
turn on that.
I'm looking at even just the Google Street View of the back of that house, and right above the porch, or balcony rather, there's the 3rd story that has its 2 windows side by side.
The roof's not going to go that high. The roof is going to be below the windows on the existing balcony.
Yeah, okay.
It'll just maybe be like a foot and a half above where the balcony was.
Oh, I see.
It's not going to be a massive slope.
It's not up above the 2nd story.
No.
It's just,
No.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Got it.
This was a tricky one to describe for sure. When I was writing it, I was like, man, I hope I'm doing a good enough job of describing all this. The thing that I'm trying to pull up right now, and the thing that kind of surprised me too, this house was built in 1903 according to the records that we have. Which aren't always to be trusted, but heck, I'll trust them this time. So I went through some Sanborn maps and I looked at them, and I think that the asbestos has been on that house for so long, like almost forever. There's wood underneath it, obviously, that you found, but I think this is another testimony, like it's a testimony to showing that, first of all, each generation had this little iteration of siding that they would put over it, whether it was stucco or aluminum or asbestos or vinyl. Generally, when we see these kind of things, they would just go right over the existing wood siding, which is a mixed blessing, right? Blessing and a curse means that we still have the original stuff underneath, but at the same time, we don't get to know what's happening underneath. Asbestos gets especially tricky, and I know that when I've been working with Scott on this entire project, right, we can't put asbestos back up. So he has, not only this project, but some of these other roofs where you need to flash to be able to make sure that you don't have water intruding. It means you have to take off asbestos. What are you going to put back up? Usually we're going to be looking at some kind of concrete fibrous
That's
board,
exactly
right?
it. Yep.
But all of this to say that if we just had the wooden siding, we would have known a lot faster the extent of this damage, and we wouldn't have the dirt wall, right? we would have had something else. And I
It's
think
been a nightmare. Yeah.
I think that the next Sanborn map that we have after 1902, when this house allegedly was not built, if it was built in 1903, is 1908. And it's completely plausible that in the 5 intervening years, they could have said, hey, lap siding's not hip anymore, but asbestos is. This house could have existed for a longer time with asbestos siding than it did with lap siding. But it's just fascinating, again, to see what happens underneath the hood there when we're looking at it. Just for the clarification for everyone too, because just to clarify on your point again, the window's going to go up to below the existing windows that are on the balcony. The roof is going to go up to below those windows that's on the balcony right now, and then the new windows, right, are going to be the same height as the existing windows. It's just to promote the watershed coming off of there. Right now it was kind of even a negative slope when you look at it, which is not good, right? And then you can tar the heck out of something, but if you have a negative slope and it's just pooling, that's not good. I have no doubt that bump out's been there for a long time, but I do have doubts about what configuration it's been in, or I don't think that it's been sustainable just to have that tarred for 122 years, right? So we can see that there has been damage from this. Happy to entertain any other questions from folks too.
If there's no other questions, would someone want to make a motion to approve?
I move to approve with a certificate of appropriateness for the work as described in the application as stated by Secretary of Interior Standards 2, 9, and 10.
I'll second the motion.
Casey, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Katie?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Awesome. So it did pass. I'll be in touch with you by the end of the week. We have a conference this week, but I will get the paperwork out to you by the end of the week. And then we can talk next steps if you want to.
Okay.
You're gonna need a building permit, right, Casey, to convert the doors into windows? So we'll look at that. I don't know if
Thank
you
you.
already applied for it or not, but we'll work to get everything taken care of.
Okay,
So.
appreciate it. One last thing I forgot. I interviewed the family that moved out of one side of that duplex when they left and said, are there any complaints you have about this house? And they said the tiny little bathroom in that bump out is always freezing in the winter. We don't think there's any insulation, so we're going to insulate the heck out of that bump out so that the kitchen and bathroom and both sides stay warmer. Just another side benefit is less energy loss. You know what I mean? Like when you do something right,
Yeah.
you know, then you can do other things right too. Anyway, thank you, everybody.
Excited to see it finish up. Yeah, thanks. All right, 1623 Grand.
Hello, I'm Lynn Robertson, and this is
I'm
my
Jed
husband,
Robertson.
Jed. We're the owners of 1623 Grand and the residents. We are interested in enclosing our back porch to make it into a mudroom in conjunction with a kitchen renovation project that we are undertaking. We don't have any coat closet right now, and it would just add a lot of functionality to our home. We're very conscientious and appreciative of the historic nature of the neighborhood and the home. We want to do it right and in a way that's in keeping with the aesthetics of the neighborhood. And so we've worked with Holly Bonine to come up with a plan that we believe does meet the requirements.
Great, thank you. Does anyone want to start with some questions?
Yes, I have a question. So I understand the doorway, where the doorway is going to go, and then that large open space. Can I just ask you, did you consider just a full large window there?
That would be wonderful, but there would actually be nowhere to put the closet then, because there is another window into the kitchen, so if it came out of that other wall, then it would block half of that window, and we intend to keep that.
And that would explain why the window that you propose is off-center?
Yes.
Got it, okay.
Basically, everything you're doing, you're just filling the openings, right? And then you're going to stud out and insulate inside as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be insulated, and it will actually be open into the kitchen with no door.
Oh, with no door? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, oh, cool.
Door won't go into the dishwasher.
Yeah, that's great. I think one thing that we should consider is about that it could be undone, right? And so like the way you're doing it, like you're basically just filling in and adding on. You're not taking anything away other than a door that, that's...
Like the brick frame is going to remain intact.
Yeah.
As it should. It looks great.
Great.
And I think I saw this in the notes that you compiled for us, Louise, but just confirming the siding that you'll be putting in, is that going to be like the same black color as the upper part?
Yeah, it's a very dark green, but yes,
Yeah.
it will be the same color as the rest of the lower story of the house.
Nice.
I'm just going to add one thing. This was done to my house, my old house, and it wasn't insulated under the floor, and so my floor was always freezing cold. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You probably took that in consideration, but like something to keep in mind, like
Yes, we
because it
will
was just open air under mine. It was very annoying.
Yeah, you're definitely
Our
good.
old house in Chicago was built in like 1883 or something like that. The kitchen was all redone, looked fantastic, but it was just cold because it was all exposed. I mean,
Yeah.
There were so many other problems with the base. Another little detail is we did unfortunately experience a fire on the back porch about 3 weeks ago, 3.5, 4 weeks ago, and it was incredibly terrifying, but everything is okay. The rest of the home is okay, but we are eager to move forward even faster than we were because it is quite damaged.
Okay.
I hope you guys are okay too, and everyone else in there. I'm sorry you guys had the fire out there. Just wanted to speak to what Dan was saying, that the reversibility is a big part of this one. I remember when you guys called me and I came out to talk to you, I was like, oh man, I don't know. But then when you guys showed me what you're going to do, and you're just filling in the spaces, as you guys were saying, highly reversible, and there's not any detractions then from anything that's going on out there. So I think that's where it really bodes well for this application. This application is very detailed too and very well put together. So
Yeah.
kudos to that as well. So.
Great. Well, any questions or a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve a certificate of appropriateness for the work as described in the application as it complies with the Secretary of Interior Standards 2, 9, and 10.
Seconded.
Thank you so much. Casey, could we get a roll call vote, please?
Katie?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Dan?
Yes.
James?
Yes.
Awesome. So you guys got the approval for that?
Thank you.
I don't know if any building permits will be, so you'll need some building permits too, so you guys can work to get those for all of this as well. Let me know if you have questions about that moving forward. And again, I have a conference the next couple of days, but we'll still be in touch by the end of the week, just to let you guys know what the next steps are.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Of course, thanks for coming in.
Thanks so much. All right. So that's all the applicants. Luis, did you want to do a coordinator's report?
Yeah, we are zooming right along tonight, aren't we?
Yeah.
Sorry that there's like a blank report at the beginning of it. Just wanted to speak again, I guess publicly, to all the folks that are out at home watching, to the fact too that the Stewart neighborhood did have their
He lives within eyesight.
Okay.
He's across the top. So
All right.
I'm going to keep his thoughts even.
All right.
Sounds good. The two applicants live very close to each other. So just wanted to say that congrats to Stuart for putting on their.
One more second, I'm sorry. Do you happen to have his phone number? I see him all the time.
I do, but it's not on me.
Please let him know that I'm going to give it to him.
If he comes back, we'll send him your way.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Thanks.
Probably. I'll just call him. Scott, if you're watching, I'll call you when I get out. They got your backpack. I think it's okay. Kudos to Stuart for, putting on the historic home tour again. Kudos to everyone that was involved. Kudos to the, again, preservation. I think a lot of times I even forget that it's about people, not buildings, right? So to all the people that are doing this work, the people that are taking care of the houses, the people that opened up their houses to be walked through, that's wonderful. And I think that it shares preservation with people in a way that maybe we don't get to see as much as this commission, because we're more on the administrative side of everything's right, But I think that it's a cool way to bring people into the fold and see what it's about and see that these houses are really wonderful and see that, like Dana was saying, there's a lot of work that goes into this, right? You don't buy a house that has had some difficulties, snap your fingers, and the next thing you know, it's done, right? It takes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, I think often literally, to overcome multiple things, especially when you've had a property that might have been neglected for a while. So thank you to the Stewart neighborhood, and I think you guys did a great job with that. It sounds like there's about 1,000 attendees probably to the event, which is huge for a neighborhood organized event, in my opinion. We didn't have a lot of super exciting stuff by way of approvals. A lot of roughs. Then one porch, 619 Pearl, that I was very pleased with the work that was done at that porch. There was an error with the handrails when they initially got installed. I reached out to the gentleman that did the work, let him know. Historic districts, you're not supposed to have the spindles affixed to the interior or the exterior of the top and bottom rail of handrails. They need to be in between. I always call it ladder style. So it's like a ladder. The rungs are in between the two vertical members of the ladder. You know, the easy fix of that is you could just sandwich them by putting another top and bottom rail on to create the illusion. I let the gentleman know that because I just want to, you know, we're looking for compliance and I just want to get the folks to have it be in a good spot. He was like, yeah, man, I might do that. And then he called me back, sent me pictures, and he actually cut down the spindles so they would fit back in between. So he went the extra mile to do it the correct way, which I was really happy with. So good job to you, owner of 619 Pearl. I won't say your name. I know your name. But good job on that, and I think that it turned out really nicely. Any questions that anyone has?
That's pretty interesting. So not up and down, but like this way on the...
So this is like the top and bottom rail. You can buy them from Home Depot, let's say, where they're just fixed to the outside, you know? So you see that a lot, and that's not the way it should be. You can just buy them that way, so I think a lot of folks do that.
Yeah.
You know, the really, really super duper right way to do it would be that you actually have a 4-part construction. So the spindles would go into something that receives them, so you can drill the spindles in from the exterior of these pieces, and then that gets affixed to the actual top and bottom rail by nailing that piece into the bottom and the top of the top and bottom rail, so you don't have exposed hardware to the rain.
It's funny, I'm asking so much because we're doing that project, but it's inside, and we were copying what was already there.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was built right when it was built in 1917. So, yeah, that's interesting. I've been looking at spindles a lot lately.
It's always fun to look at them. You know, they come in all shapes and sizes too. Trust me. Those are the good stories that I do like to uplift, right, when we see people that are doing the right thing. I guess I say that too as I continue to look for folks for this commission, and it's very hard to get folks. Not that I don't love you all, but some of you have reached your terms, right, and we're looking for people to fill those seats. I think a lot of people get a little bit afraid of this commission. I don't have this same issue at all with HPC, and I don't know why that is. So, I mean, I think it's because you guys need to make decisions that directly impact property, right, and like we've said so many times, we do have a lot of positive stories, and I think that we obviously have a very good rapport with the public, and I also think a lot of people, once they understand what it is that they maybe shouldn't have done, usually they're eager to try to get it right, for nothing else than just to display good workmanship.
So on that note, like I've probably had at least 2, maybe 3 conversations since the last meeting. And the public perception of what we do is just so skewed as like we're almost historic cops out there trying to bust people for doing normal things. Is it possible to, on one of these meetings, put out a public invite for people who have questions or want to see how it works, you know, because we have spots in the agenda for public questions and stuff, and maybe just have like, you know, we plan for it, have it be longer than a half-hour meeting, obviously, but people could just come with general questions and a vibe.
So now Kalamazoo is, one of their projects is taking people around to different commission meetings.
Oh, okay.
So it might be that we could contact Now Kalamazoo and say, could we get on your rotation? Because they are very invested in helping people understand what's going on in their community and with their various committees and commissions.
Maybe we could have that be a dual event. They could come to the event, and also if we put out a public call, you know, you don't even have to have a specific project or turn in any applications, but just, you just have general, and I know you field questions like this all the time, but maybe this is slightly less formal. I mean, it's formal because people are coming up, but you know, just, it's important to me to really dispel, like, you know, the misinformation out there, because we do approve so much, and I feel like what we do does protect, you know, people's investments in their neighborhoods and their homes and all that.
Yeah, we could also similarly like have like a frequently asked questions list that we every so often push out to the public.
Something like that. That's, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is like more of an HPC outreach kind of thing. Is it possible, since I know you are a coordinator with them as well, to maybe put that on their radar to have people come here specifically? Since,
Yeah, I know that we did this last year, but I think we need to do it again. I really tried to push it to folks last year, but I don't know if I drove the point home adequately. The reciprocity between the two commissions needs to be more fully understood by both commissions.
Should I start going to that meeting?
No. I think that it's just, there's a definite disconnect. No one needs to go to the other meetings, but I just want
I'm saying I'd be willing, as the chair, I could go there and just get up and talk about the importance of like, what we're seeing on our side and like the outreach and education, I think.
100%. And if you'd like to, I think this has probably been this way for so long that they've drifted into be their own separate entities, right? Even though you guys are brother-sister commissions, it's like you guys are grown-up brother and sister now, and you guys haven't talked to each other for a while. And I think that the connection between you guys is inherent. It does completely exist because they make the historic districts that you guys have to rule upon, and then you guys rule upon them, which then could reverberate back to them when making new historic districts or looking at them. So I say all of that long answer that I'll look into the things that Dana brought up about the Kalamazoo. I don't see why it would be an issue, but I just want to check with what the other people have done for that kind of stuff. I don't know what kind of call we could put out, but I think that going to the HPC and speaking with them would be great. And then people are always more than welcome to come in and answer the questions, because I do think that, like you said, Dan, the misconceptions that people have with the myths surrounding the historic districts don't really help anyone, and they probably create kind of an atmosphere where people are afraid to maybe even talk to me or be afraid to inquire more. And it's the last thing, and it's what I always tell folks when I go to meet new homeowners or people that have questions, is I never want you to feel like you're drowning in your property or in your investment. If you live somewhere, you should never go back to that place and be stressed about it because you're worried that I'm going to come down on you for doing X, Y, or Z. So let's just talk. Let's get ahead of it. We have a great approval rating with this commission, as we all know, as we've touted multiple times, and I don't like to toot my own horn that often, but it is very evident that we're willing to work with folks, that we've had dialogues with folks pretty regularly, right? And we know that we are not, as you said, the historic preservation police by any means, right? We're here to try to get to yes always. How can we do it in a way that abides by our rules and also as closely aligns with the applicant's wishes as we can get there while abiding by our rules?
Is there any opportunity for us, or I don't want to put all the onus on you, to go to the different neighborhood meetings, like if they have meetings, and present on behalf of HDC?
So to me, that's really, I don't mean to put our new neighborhood activator on blast for that one, but that is, to me, I want to make sure that I don't show favoritism to any specific neighborhood by any means. So I think that people can certainly go present. If I was specifically requested, I have presented in the past, but generally step on toes or add extra responsibilities, but I don't want to step on toes for our neighborhood activators. We have a new neighborhood activator now. Their name is C Mall. They started, I don't know exactly when they started, maybe a month ago now. So still fresh in the role, right? I think still just getting introduced maybe to the neighborhoods because we have 22 of them. But he's a wonderful person, and it seems like they are going to do very well with the gig. And do as well.
The only other thing I was thinking about is like just doing like a standard PR campaign through the city. And it could just be like simple social media info pushing out for people that follow the city. I don't know if that would be something that they would be interested in allowing us to do.
It's another one that I would have to ask just to double check.
Okay.
I think that to me, my kind of position on it is there can be as many naysayers as they like. I think the proof is in the pudding, as they say, right?
Yeah.
We've had so many people that have come to the meetings, we've had so many people that I've seen before my own eyes, their impression has changed immediately after they see what the process is like. I know I watch too much TV, and I think that like historic districts are really portrayed poorly on television generally, right? As some kind of authoritarian, like HOA kind of deal. And we are not that by any means, right? Again, this is a people business that we're in. It's about the people. The houses, I think we can't mix the two up, and it's the people that are making the houses still there. People that are utilizing the houses. It really is a people deal at the end of the day, so we need to make sure that we keep those people relations good.
Right.
Okay, well, yeah, thanks. I made some notes. I'm going to I'll talk to you about that later. But, so the time is 5:38, and I'm going to adjourn this meeting.